Welcome back to the Norse Benchwarmers podcast. I am your host, Colton Smith, here joined by producer Josh Northcutt.
It looks you have a ponytail.
Does it?
Yeah.
Go back to... Gotta love headphone hair. Also joined by co-host Ben Miller and director Garrett Jordan. Why did I think that was a Clemson hat at first glance, even though I'd already seen it earlier today?
It definitely looks like a Clemson hat.
It does,
Yeah.
yes.
You see, it looks kind of orange in this light, but no, it's a Cincinnati hat.
Yeah, okay. Do you like Garrett? Don't tell me you got another team.
No, hell no.
All right. Well, we are here today to talk about some NFL. Imagine that. I didn't have the fantasy pulled up, but let me pull that up here real quick. Josh, you can filibuster.
All right.
How was your guys' weekend?
That works too. My weekend couldn't have been worse. I'm not going to go into full details. Just don't work third shift and not wake up to alarms. I'm a horrible person. Sorry for that.
Yeah, my weekend was good. I got to work a volleyball game on Friday night. First time ever at Regents Hall. And worked Saturday and chilled all day on Sunday. So, Colton, how about you? How was your weekend?
Oh, thank you for asking. It was. I worked some volleyball games as well. Got to spend some time. Had some family come in from out of town, so spend some time with them.
Trigger alert. How was the race?
Wow.
Cool. I'm taking over the show. Back to me. Hey,
Dang
yeah.
it.
So anyway, I mean, I don't have the fantasy football up, so I need Colton to
do
come
have
back.
the fantasy football up, but now you just broke me. I didn't think I'd have to talk about this until never, hopefully, but at least Wednesday. But I do have the fantasy football update now. To be fair, this is Monday, so it's not completed, but Garrett has me beat unless Puka drops a 50 bomb.
Hey, it's possible.
It's possible. It's possible. Against the Miami defense, that's been... dude,
See, I just gave him some
happy.
hope.
I'd be so
I got to
happy.
try to build him back up.
Got to
'cause
build
I
me
think
back
I just
up.
killed him.
You might have inside for sure. But anyways, Baker's dozen currently leads me 122 to 84 behind a 55-point performance from Jamar Chase. I literally did, throughout the entirety of the game, we were watching it together, and I was like, I don't care if he beats me. Let's win this game.
That does make matters worse, but we can go in. We're going to go into
And
that.
so I lose on both fronts, but we'll go into that. Saquon 8.8. All I needed was an average performance from you, and then an average performance from Puka, and I beat Garrett still with that 55 points, but nothing from you.
I mean, you did kind of call your team falling off.
I did. I knew that. I knew this is too good to be true. I think we're at the part of the year where just my life starts sucking, as we mentioned earlier with the
December
graduation
14th.
day, being at the least amount of whatever. Classic Phil. God, what a tank bowl. I can say I'll get worse, but I will never get this bad.
Oh, my team's bad, all right?
87 to 74.
Ooh.
Well, Phil's going to get at least a few more points tonight, though. He's got somebody playing last I saw.
Yeah, he's got Devon A-Chain
But yeah, no,
tonight.
my
you
team
have
is
Cooper Cup tonight.
Oh, well, wait, I do.
You do.
Okay, so I have
All right.
a hope and a long chance.
There is a 9% chance on the win
I think I got
probability.
Kyron Williams tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if he's on your team, then you do.
Yeah.
The Chinnery 20s, 157 over 141. We need to. This is. I don't know if he gave any money.
He didn't.
He didn't. Well, I didn't even tell him to give
Yeah,
money.
well,
so that's my
unfortunately, it's too
fault. But I mean, this is a guy that is definitely looking scary because he got Christian McCaffrey back, who had 16.7 in a return game, which is weird. He had less rushing yards than Saquon, but had twice the amount of points.
Probably catches.
Yes. But he also had Joe Burrow had 33, Chuba Hubbard had 24, Calvin Ridley 25, Marvin Harrison Jr. 16, and the Philly defense had 20. So incredible week from him against a tough Alex team that had Lamar Jackson, Joe Mixon, Travis Kelce had 20 points, George Pickens had 20. So big win, Cherry 20s. I put some respect on that name. That's what it's been telling me to say. So put some respect on his name. Trey's down with the team, defeating the fight. Still a chance out there if Tyreek Hill goes off for fight. 96 to 72. And lastly, we have Ben's best team, who is hoping Kyron Williams and the Cleveland defense is on bye, so that's a little tough for you. But
sadly.
the Kyron Williams, still a chance out there if he can get about 25 points. It is 81 Ben's best team. The Sean team 106. Of course, he has a down week the week after he plays me.
I will say, though, if you only need 25 from Kyron, that is very much possible. And you maybe want to look up. I'm going to say you may want to look up and see if the Dolphins' defense is available once we're done with the show.
Yep.
Not to tell you what to do, because I'm assuming the Rams are definitely locked. But if the Dolphins are available, just to try to get you a few points.
Okay.
I would love to see Kyron Williams go off for 25 because that means Puka didn't.
That's a little counterintuitive. If Kyron goes off, that means the Dolphins' defense is getting less points, though.
I mean, yes, but it's a fair way to go. Say Stafford throws
zero.
Say Stafford throws 1 pick 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just food for thought, not to tell you how to run your team. But
right.
I would definitely take the chance.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into it for sure.
Points are better than no points. I'm glad you started updating your team now.
Yeah. I mean, now that Dak's out for the rest of the year going into surgeries, I replaced him with Sam Darnold, and the week that I do, he lets me down. Come on.
I'm just going to trade you Josh Allen. I told you. I'm just going to give you Josh Allen. Go full tank mode.
Why in God's name would you ever? Anyways, let's go ahead and move along to yesterday's games, last week's game. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid, fellas. Thursday Night Football is where the week started, and it was a glorious day. It was a glorious night, I guess I should say. And started off great, good vibes, 21-7 Bengals, and I can't say anymore.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a heartbreaker though. I mean, the Bengals, they look great. I mean, that defense, they were making things really hard for this really talented Baltimore offense with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. The fact that they limited Derrick Henry to 68 yards, that is absolutely insane. I mean, with the defense that we've been all year, though, we thought that Derrick Henry was going to go off, though. But I was impressed with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I mean, coming into this game, that passing game was going to be huge, and they picked up right where they left off in that game in Paycor. But, I feel like we should have won this game. I mean, a couple of controversial calls there at the end. I mean, with Burrow's getting grabbed by the face mask and Gesicki getting held. It's just absolutely heartbreaking for sure.
The main point I want to make is that is not what lost us this game. Also, if we want to talk about refs, I believe the Ravens ended up with like 9 or 10 penalties, whereas the Bengals only had 3. Mm-hmm. So refs were in our favor the entire game, so I'm not going to blame it on them.
11 penalties for the Ravens for 81 yards. The Bengals had 3 penalties for 23.
Okay, so refs weren't a problem. I don't care if they missed a call at the end of the game. You could also point out the fact that Joe Burrow didn't even look in the direction of a one-on-one matchup between Jamar Chase and whoever the cornerback was for the Ravens. Did not look in that direction. Decided instead look directly at the 4th-string tight end Tanner Hudson, who dropped the pass earlier in the game and was in double coverage, and decided, that's the move. And I don't see Zach Taylor. That's not a Zach Taylor thing, right?
I've been trying to talk to people who know sports better than me when it comes to X's and O's. I feel like that had to be Joe just going before the snap, I'm throwing the ball there.
Yeah.
Because there was you said it best. He didn't look to the left. And me and Ben were talking about it earlier today because Ben was getting a little heated about the calls. And I understand. The calls missed were absolutely horrible. But like you said, that's not what lost the game. What happens is when the quarterback doesn't look that way, the refs aren't going to look that way either. Right. So the refs aren't going to see Gesicki getting tackled to the ground because they're following the ball. So if Joe even looks for a second to the left, and I don't know, maybe gets that defender who's double teaming Tanner to go a little bit more that way, you have a different situation.
I don't see a coach just flat out telling you don't look at your best player on the team that's in single coverage.
You mean the same guy who had 11 catches for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, the fact the ball didn't go to him with the game on the line and it goes to your 4th-string quarterback.
Or just look in his direction is all that I'm asking.
Yeah, it was a very bad mistake by Joe. I feel like that has to be on Joe. But I also can't blame Joe, man. He went 34 of 56, 428 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yes. He did everything he could. He didn't turn the ball over. He was getting pressured and hit every single time he turned. Every time he dropped back to pass, he was getting hit.
He was.
Dude, the fact he didn't break, holy cow, I'm surprised. And it doesn't get any easier because the Chargers are coming. Sorry, we're going out to L.A., so that doesn't make it any easier. But the thing I want to throw out there is now, this is twice I've said that you got to keep Lamar from beating you on the ground. Gentlemen, he went 25 of 33, 290 yards and another 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The Ravens scored 4 straight touchdowns when they touched the ball in the second half to close out the game. That's what lost the game. You got to force punts.
Yeah.
Y'all, you have to force punts. And this defense didn't do it. And I get it. The Brown was a momentum changer. But, I mean, I don't know what happened to Lou because he looked like a genius. 7 points in the first half. Lamar's frustrated as he's going off the field yelling at Deontay Johnson. And then in the second half, it just completely disappears, and you have an absolute shootout in the fourth quarter with the Ravens going 21 and us only going 13.
Yeah, I mean, that's just been the problem with our defense, though. I mean, like I mentioned, I thought they looked great in the first half, but we just went back to our normal selves. And it just makes me, as a Bengals fan, it just makes me so frustrated that before the trade deadline, why did we not get any deals done to help improve this defense? I mean, when you look at going into Baltimore, though, after that, it's a tough schedule. I mean, we got L.A. this weekend. We got the Steelers after that. If we can just fix the defense, our playoff hopes are still alive. I mean, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, both arguably the best QB wide receiver duos, and they're both putting up MVP caliber numbers. And the fact that the front office doesn't want to do anything is absolutely ridiculous.
Well,
let's get some deals done. The season is not over. I mean, I know we're 4-6, doesn't look great, but come on, let's get these deals done on defense. Let's help improve. Let's build around Trey Hendrickson.
Well, at this point, you have to. That was great speech.
Yeah.
At this point, you're just looking at wash people in free agency or maybe a waiver wire deal.
Well, that's what we were talking about before the show. Apparently, Fournette and Howard are both in town, and the Howard thing has always been a head scratcher to me because Lou literally drafted him in Miami. Howard had insane talent, was one of the best cornerbacks. I don't know if he's washed. I don't know enough about that to dig in deep. I know he had some injuries to deal with, but never signing Howard, especially after Dax went down, was a head scratcher to me. So maybe they get Howard, maybe they bring in Fournette, and we get a little more juice to close out because I don't want to say it's dead yet. I don't want to call this team dead yet. I mean, you want to do a spiel about it beforehand, but we're closer to the grave than we are to heaven, and I'll leave it at that. So
yeah, that's exactly how I feel about this team. I don't necessarily deny that they will. That they could maybe make the playoffs, but I just, with the way this team has played, I don't see any reason why I should believe that. But anyways, let's move along from our team that has us such in pain, and let's talk about another city that's in pain, Chicago, as they just lost 19-3 to the New England Patriots. So maybe that opening season loss, no, it was just as bad as it looked.
I'm just going to say, hey, at least we're not the only team to lose to the Patriots. So thanks a lot, Bears.
Yeah, shout out Bears. But yeah, in a game where between two rookie quarterbacks, you had Drake May with 15 of 25 passing, 184 pass yards, a passer rating of 79.4. And on Chicago's end, the number one pick, Caleb Williams, 16 for 30, 120 passing yards, and a passer rating of 63.2. So Drake May didn't come in and just blow out Caleb Williams. It just kind of came down to the Patriots. The Bears couldn't get anything going on offense. The Patriots defense showed up, and it's a questionable. It's definitely a questionable loss, though.
I'm going to say, I'll be completely honest with you. If I was the Bears ownership, I would have fired Matt Eberflus today. The Bears offense just does not look right and does not look in sync. And I believe I said it in the beginning of the year. That was my main concern. I don't like a defensive coach running a new quarterback out there, like a rookie quarterback. I want an offensive mind who knows how to run an offense. And I was talking to our buddy Andy Edwards before we came in today, him being a Bears fan, and I said, I'm going to throw out a name for you, and you can tell me if I'm crazy when I say this, but why not Cliff Kingsbury to the Bears as head coach? I get he got a lot of heat in Arizona because it didn't always work out with Kyler Murray. Mm-hmm. Yes, I called him by his real name. He deserved it after this past weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, he's doing great things with Jaden Daniels. He's running the offense there. He's doing the play calling there through that. So I would look, if I'm the Bears, very hard at bringing Cliff in.
Okay, I get your take there, and I think we probably just have two different perspectives on Kingsbury. I don't think he's a good head coach. I think he would be an outstanding offensive coordinator.
Well, he turned down the coordinator job. That's why. Yeah, and that's where
because he probably likes Jaden Daniels better.
Which, yeah, but if he ain't going to turn down a head coaching job.
Right. But yeah, I mean, it could work. You just know the ceiling of that team with Kingsbury as the coach, if you ask me.
I mean, can you think of an offensive mind? I know to put you on the spot, but like,
No, I can't.
I can't either.
That's what Cliff was just the first one that popped in my mind. Maybe Detroit's offensive coordinator because he does crazy things.
Yeah. I would say he's probably would be a better candidate. At least you don't. Yeah, Ben Johnson.
Houston's offensive coordinator too is another one. But I think I just prefer someone who's got experience at doing the head coaching job. Even if Cliff didn't do as well, we're seeing these second stops work pretty well. Down in Atlanta, Raheem Morris, speaking Dan Quinn in Washington. So, I mean, maybe that second go around, you learn from it. You get different people around you, and things pay off. Ben, we know you're higher on the Bears, so you got any takes on that disappointing loss?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's really disappointing, though. I mean, this offense just – like, I had high hopes on them during the season, but the last 2 games, though, they're just not living up to expectations. And, I feel like the head coach's job, what's his name again? I'm always forgetting it.
The head coach?
Eberflus.
Eberflus, yeah. I definitely feel like his job is definitely in question, though. But I actually like the fact of bringing up Cliff Kingsbury, though. I mean, I feel like he'll be a great addition. But Caleb Williams did say in his press conference, though, he still has faith in his head coach. So hopefully they can turn it around, though, because I'm not giving up.
Well, all I know is he told his punter he wasn't going to punt ever, and he punted 8 times yesterday.
Yeah. Part of me wonders if it's not so much Caleb Williams. If you go under a microscope of the Chicago Bears offense and look at that offensive line, I mean, just looking at these stats right here for the New England Patriots defense, I mean, 9 sacks in this game, 13 tackles for loss. You're not going to win very many games when you're getting sacked 9 times as the quarterback. So maybe we need to start looking at this Bears O-line and maybe seeing that as the problem with this team, not so much Caleb Williams.
It's always been the problem.
It's always been the problem since that Texans game.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily blame it on Williams. He did have a rough game, but yeah, I would agree that the pressures and all of that, it's ugly. I mean, I think the Texans were around that 9 sack threshold when they played on Sunday Night Football about week 2 or week 3. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. They're down to 4-5 now. I didn't realize how badly they were slipping. And they're no longer in the playoffs. They're in an interesting part of their season, that's for sure. And it'll be interesting to see how all the coaching plays out. I do want to mention in passing the Vikings barely beating the Jaguars in Mac Jones' first start as a Jacksonville Jaguar, 12-7. Not that he had anything to do with the game being close, but 3 picks from Sam Darnold. He's seeing ghost once again, and that's a little alarming. It's a little alarming. They have looked once they finally lost that first game. It kind of seems like there's that first chink in the armor, and
it's almost as if Sam Darnold isn't as good as what people like. He's an Andy Dalton type quarterback. He's a game system guy. He's not going to go out there and win anything great. Mm-hmm. So obviously there's going to be a lot of questions when it comes to the team. The defense is going to keep them in it, though. I mean, they literally did not score a touchdown yesterday, and they still found a way to win. That's all that matters. They don't ask you how you get the W as long as you get the W.
Yep, for sure. Yep. Speaking of which, the Broncos and the Chiefs, 16-14.
The only touchdown in that game was a Mac Jones rushing touchdown. That's so hilarious to me.
That is insane.
Mac Jones, baby. Sit down, Trevor Lawrence. It's Mac Jones time in Jacksonville.
Attack of the Mac and
Well, I would like to announce this is my final show, as Josh will be killing me after this episode, after that comment. So, it was a very fun ride while it lasted. But speaking of ride, I was about to speak about the Broncos, who did not ride last week, lost 16-14. Almost did, though, losing on a blocked field goal. I would assume that field goal was fairly close. But once again, the Chiefs won a coin flip, and that is really just the definition of their season. They sit at 9-0 to this point in the year, and I could see them going 17-0 because, like, by every means, they could be just as easily a 500 team right now if some things go different ways. But you just have to, kind of marvel at the fact that they can just lose very losable games. Patrick Mahomes has just looked average this year. And you guys got any comments on this?
I'm going to say, first off, they're not going undefeated. They better lose this weekend. But if they don't,
I agree.
The Chargers are going to come through for me on December 8th. On my birthday, the Chargers will beat the Chiefs for my birthday present from the best coach.
So
now, anyway,
the Chiefs that day.
But not to be selfish and talk about that. Bo Nix deserved this win.
Yep.
He went 22 of 30 for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I know you were a lot higher on him than obviously I was. I had this team going 0-17. But you saw talent in Bo, and it's there. This dude is an NFL quarterback.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Like, if you want to talk about a QB who has just gotten better each game, it's pretty well been Bo Nix. I mean, in this game, I had the stats pulled up there. He had 22 for 30 passing, 215 passing yards, two passing touchdowns, a QBR of 115 or 115. I don't know why I said it that way.
That should be good to win. That should be good to win.
That's a better passer rating than that of Patrick Mahomes. Who only at 92, still a great one. But I mean, that should be winning stats right there. And they just didn't get that last thing they needed. I mean, Bo Nix did everything he could to win this game, and he's really developing into. The only reason I just thought on the off chance that Sean Payton found his Drew Brees, and he didn't find his Drew Brees, but I think he still found a pretty good quarterback that could lead this Broncos team to a playoff run or what have you. So it'll be interesting to see how that development goes.
Yeah.
What you got?
I'll be honest. Watching Bo Nix in college, that was the one thing I was scared about when he got into the NFL, was just how inconsistent he was, and it was like, what Bo Nix are you going to get on any given day?
Which I think that's still a thing.
It's still somewhat of a thing, but I really think having Sean Payton as his head coach has really helped him. Having a guy like Sean Payton who's been in the game as long as he has, who's had success like that, and is helping to develop him while also starting him at the same time is, I think, really impressive. And I think we're going to see Bo Nix develop into a very respectable quarterback in this league because of that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a fairly stable situation to come into, more stable than other ones. He's got a decent offensive line. He's got a great defense that keeps him in games. It means if he makes a mistake, he's not necessarily out of the game. That's a lot of the issues with some of the other younger quarterbacks that come up. So
I think maybe get him a couple more pieces at those skill positions, running back and wide receiver, and this Denver Broncos team could be scary in the next couple of years.
No doubt.
Yep.
I mean, the only thing I would add is I think it helps that there was low expectations going in. I don't think the Broncos necessarily expected him to come in looking like he does this week. And I mean, that's a big game against the Chiefs. A good defense that you would think would give him fits, but he looked good. But we still got some other games to talk about.
Ben, you got something?
So I mean, overall though, I'm just really impressed with Bo Nix. I mean, as we get more and more into the season, though, I feel like he's gaining more confidence. Though he looks really comfortable throwing the ball down the field. That's been one of the biggest strengths on this Broncos offense this year, and to go along with a great defense like we talked about. I mean, overall though, they were giving the Chiefs, they were giving them a lot of challenges. So overall though, this team they're a playoff team for sure.
The Broncos have spending money this offseason? Probably not because of Russ.
I'm going to say it. I think they have one more year of Russ, unfortunately.
Okay.
So,
I'm saying spending money.
When Russ comes off the book, though, they're going to have like a record-breaking type money to spend because they're paying that dude stupid money to torch it in Pittsburgh, which I think is the next game we're going to talk about.
I was going to briefly in passing mention the Saints beating the Falcons. Not that the Saints winning is anything crazy, just some NFC South football for you. 20-17. Nothing else really to mention there, but we can talk about the Steelers and the Commanders. The Commanders were up 23-13 at one point, if I saw that correctly. But the Steelers come back. A lot of controversy around this game. Alex Perez of the Beyond the Score podcast was everywhere, tweeting about it. So does anybody have anything to say about it?
Steelers are Super Bowl contenders, and I tried to warn y'all. I told y'all if Russ can come back and do what Russ is expected to do, they're going to be Super Bowl contenders. And they are. This is a team with a defense that you are not going to want to go into Pittsburgh in December and January, or I guess it'll be January, and play this team because that defense is going to hit you hard, and Wilson's not making mistakes. And he's already got a nice connection with Mike Williams. He completed a big 32-yard shot down the field.
There's one reception of the game.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's all it needs, though. That's
No, I was just pointing it out.
And then George Pickens did what George Pickens does, and I don't know if you saw him try to fight the DB rather than tackle the guy who's going down the field with the football. But George
22 fantasy points and a 4-point takedown.
But so it's one of those things that I tried to warn you all that this team was going to be good. I know I'm gloating.
I just had to deny it for my own personal...
And I get it, but it's gotten to the point you cannot deny that the head coach anymore.
Yep.
He is
Mike Tomlin.
Oh yeah, we were always arguing McVay and Shanahan is the second best coach in football. We were wrong. It's Tomlin.
Yeah.
Tomlin is the second best coach, and the man doesn't lose. Literally doesn't have a losing record.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what he throws out there, and now he's got it. He outsmarted all of us. He said this was Russ's job the entire time, and we're all like, "Oh, Fields." No, this is Russ's job, and he deserves it. And the offense looks different with Russ on the field.
Yeah.
They are very scary, and I think they are the biggest threat to ending a three-peat for the Chiefs in the AFC.
Wow.
In the AFC. The NFC, we all know who it is. It's the Lions because of their defense. But in the AFC, the Steelers are the biggest threat because that defense isn't going to back down to Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
He's not.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with everything you said, Josh. I mean, the Steelers are definitely a Super Bowl contender. I mean, when you look at Russell Wilson, though, he's been absolutely outstanding. He looks really comfortable on the field, and the fact that they got Mike Williams from the Jets, though, I mean, we all know that wide receiver 2 was a big issue for them, and for him to connect with Mike Williams down the field to help build around George Pickens in a way, and that defense, as always, absolutely impressive. So, overall, this is a complete team, and they can definitely challenge the Chiefs in the AFC to try to stop the three-peat for sure.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, if Mike Williams stays healthy, he could be looked at as one of the better midseason acquisitions of the past this decade. So definitely a talented player if he can stay healthy. But, one last game we'll talk about here is the Sunday Night Football game. The Detroit Lions defeating the Houston Texans 26-23 after being down 23-7 in the first half. 5 interceptions from Goff. Were they all in the first half?
I think 3 were. Yeah, three were in the first half, and 2 were in the second half
from Goff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ben, I know you have some notes, so I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, overall though, from the beginning, the Texans defense was impressive though, pressuring Jared Goff. Like we mentioned, he threw 3 interceptions in the first half. But off those turnovers, though, the Texans, they did a great job driving the ball down the field on every possession, though. Didn't convert in the red zone, though, but they were able to convert on some field goals. But the fact that the Lions were down 23-7 at halftime, we did not expect this at all by the Lions. I mean, we talked about it, though. They're arguably the best complete team, and the fact that they were down 23-7 was absolutely insane. But second half, though, they tried to turn things around, though. They were moving the ball down the field to try to get back in the game, but Goff, he continues throwing two more interceptions. But the Texans offense, though, they couldn't get anything going. I mean, they were having a hard time getting the ball down the field, though. But Carlton Davis showed up big, throwing up 2 interceptions. But in a way, ugly win for the Lions. But Jared Goff, his MVP chances took a big hit for sure.
I'd argue ugly wins are better than blowout wins. To me, I think the fact that they were down 23-7 against a good Texans team and then fought back, the defense locked in, got some interceptions from C.J. Stroud, and then ended up giving them to damn it, you messed me up with the fingers, broke my train of thought.
My bad.
So yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about the picks then. Great win from the Lions.
Did y'all see the?
No, we're going on to the picks now. The picks these week's game starts with Thursday Night Football, the Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Going to be a big game. Can't wait to see it. What do you guys think?
For me, before we enter on the show, I said I want the Commanders to win, but I'm going to need the Commanders to prove it to me. So I'm going to take the Eagles because they've had more experience in these big games.
Yeah, I mean, overall, though, this is going to be a great matchup, though. I mean, I expect both teams to run the ball a lot, though. I mean, they come in top 3 in the league. And I feel like with the Eagles at home, I mean, it's obviously going to be a sold-out crowd. I feel like that Eagles defense will be the difference to limit the Commanders with the run. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles over the Commanders on Thursday night.
All right. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think they got the experience. They're the team that's rolling right now after blowing out a division opponent in the Cowboys. So give me Philly. Moving on down to Fox's game of the week, the Green Bay Packers against the Chicago Bears. A couple weeks ago, it would have looked like a more interesting matchup, but the Bears are slipping, and they're going up against one of the top teams in the NFC this week. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Packers here. I would have taken it either way. But don't be shocked if maybe the Chicago defense is able to cook something up. But this Packers team has also looked great, coming off a bye week too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so give me the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of weeks, though, the Bears' offense has been absolutely sluggish. I mean, they look sluggish against the Cardinals and the Patriots. I feel like the Packers, they definitely have the advantage on offense right now, especially in the pass game. But I'm interested to see if the Bears' defense will try to step up and try to stop Jordan Love in this really elite offense. But I'm going with the Packers.
I just have to go. You were going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to throw this out here. The Bears' schedule: Packers, Vikings, Lions, Niners, Vikings, Lions. So basically the next month and a half this is the Bears. If they're going to make a playoff run that you kind of predicted, it's going to have to be coming in this toughest part of the schedule, playing your division foes 5 times out of the next 6 games, and arguably on paper the best team in the NFC. That being said, a week off helps Jordan Love, and I will go ahead and take the Packers as well.
They're getting cold at the wrong time. Now that you brought up that schedule, that freaks me out.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. But moving on down to the CBS game of the week, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. I'm going with the Bills here. I understand. One thing's for certain about this game. It will come down to the final possession. However that goes, it will probably go in the Chiefs' favor. But they got to lose at some point, right?
Yep.
Right.
They don't.
Right.
Colton, you've been saying this for literally a month. Every time we talk to Chiefs, and buddy, they don't have to lose. That's the problem.
Right.
And what's terrifying, if you look at their schedule the rest of the way, it's this and the Chargers game, and then the rest they're going to be favored in. That being said, this game is in Buffalo. Nobody circles the wagons quite like the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen puts it asterisk or stamp, whatever you want to use as a motivation tool, but it happens this weekend. Sunday, the Bills will beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with the Bills as well. I feel like if anybody's going to end the Chiefs' perfect season, it's Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I mean, Josh Allen's another QB that is having a MVP caliber season, so I feel like that offense will show up big and look for Josh Allen to run the ball a lot. So give me the Buffalo Bills in Orchard Park.
They better win.
That being said, Josh Allen has a record of 3-4 in the regular season playoffs against the Chiefs.
What about just the I feel like they always beat them in the regular season.
I'm going to look that up.
Look up that regular season, because I was about to say, like, the Bills are the best at beating the Chiefs in the regular season, but when it comes to playoff time. But speaking of a team that's beaten the Chiefs in the postseason, the Cincinnati Bengals, so I'll just hold on to that for the rest of my life, are playing against the Los Angeles Chargers. And I am going to go ahead and I'm done with that orange Kool-Aid. I'm drinking any Kool-Aid other than orange. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of going back and forth on this one, to be honest with you guys. I mean, these are two teams that love to throw the football. I mean, obviously we got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, arguably the best QB wide receiver duo, like I mentioned earlier in the show. I mean, I feel like they're going to pick up right where they left off in Baltimore, especially with their season on the line being 4-6. But I am a little concerned going up against that really tough Charger defense that Josh and I talked about on our way to the studio. So I hope I'm wrong, but I'm going with the Chargers.
If I'm looking at this correctly, by the way, Josh Allen is 3-1 in the regular season versus the Kansas City Chiefs, which means he's definitely losing on Sunday.
Let's call it Allen head.
Stop it. Let's not do this. All right, let's not poke the bear. But anyway, back to the Bengals Chargers game. This is a huge game for the Bengals. I want to believe the Bengals can win this game. If the Bengals are going to win this game, though, they're going to need more than Jamar Chase. I need to hope T. Higgins is playing. I don't know if I've seen anything updated fully. I heard it's a potential, and he'll be at least flying with the team. Usually good news. That being said, the Chargers have the #1 defense in the NFL. The Chargers love to run the football because when Harbaugh's done running the football, guess what he does?
He runs it again.
And you got to believe he's probably on the phone with his brother thinking, hey, what did you see last week?
I didn't realize they played Harbaugh brothers back to back.
So that being said, unfortunately, I don't see the Bengals coming up with a win, and give me the Chargers.
Yeah. All right. So we all agreed. Who did you say?
Chargers.
Okay. Yeah. So we've all agreed to this point, I believe. Yeah. It's a pretty cut dry week.
I mean, I'm just hoping though. We all picked the Chargers. That means the Bengals win, right?
God, I hope so. Maybe that's the method. We just have to.
I'll tell you now, if it
pick
happens,
against them.
yeah, if it happens, we're just gonna do it every
Never
week.
picking the Bengals again.
I mean, it's a bye week. We're taking the bye week.
I mean, I picked the Ravens for a reason last week, and they almost pulled it off.
I almost pulled up. You just didn't have all of us. picking them.
you were the last gem that got left
So
out.
I was the fourth quarter.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about some Monday Night Football. Houston Texans, the Battle of Texas. The Houston Texans at Dallas in Jerry's World. Cooper Rush versus C.J. Stroud. They both start their names with the letter C, and they play quarterback for a team in Texas. That's about all I could say of like comparing and contrasting.
You know what? We got a little time extra, so I'm going to bring it up. Why are you not playing Trey Lance and just figuring out what Trey Lance has? You traded for him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, you know what you got in Cooper Rush. He's your safety net.
I thought you were asking me at first. I was like, I don't have Trey Lance?
No. The Cowboys have Trey Lance. They traded for him. Use him. See what you got for a few games. Like, what does it have to hurt? Like, if he stinks and you lose, you get Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's worse punishments.
Win-win.
Yeah, there's worse punishments.
Win-win.
So it's just, it would be one of my things. I don't understand why Trey Lance isn't starting. And not to make you go back to it, but I'm going to clearly take the Texans. The Texans right the ship and absolutely destroy how this game didn't get flexed. I don't know.
Hey, with the potential of Nico Collins back, he will be in my starting lineup.
Yeah.
ASAP, Ferg.
Yeah, I got Texans big in this one. I mean, obviously, Dallas, they're dealing with a lot with Prescott and a lot with their QB situation, though. But I feel like the Texans defense is going to show up. They're going to challenge the Cowboys offense like they did with the Lions last night. So give me the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, that Texans defense looked good throughout the game. It's just their offense couldn't get anything going in the second half against the Lions. So, huge shout out to them. So I guess, how are we doing on time, Mr. Producer?
We got like 30 seconds.
Got like 30 seconds. So we'll just go ahead and wrap up the show. Is there any closing thoughts you guys have before we
I'm going to let you close it out because I know there was a certain quarterback you did want to talk about.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Kyler Murray had a great game against the New York Jets. They defeated the New York Jets, made that comeback rest in peace. And they had a great game, looked better than C.J. Stroud against the Jets defense. That's all I'm saying. It's just the facts. It's just the facts. I'm not saying he's better than C.J. Stroud. I'm just saying, however, he did look better against the same defense. But anyways,
well, we've gone over this. I don't think C.J. Stroud's as good as what people think anymore.
I'm starting to see that. I'm starting to see it a little bit.
Another 2 interceptions.
Another 2 INTs. Yeah. Defenses maybe starting to figure him out. I don't want to like jump off the bandwagon. I think he's still like a top 10 QB, but
I agree.
You don't agree?
I don't. That can be saved for last time, but I think
we need to do a QB list. We talked about it this entire time. We need to sit down and do a damn QB list and figure this out. But that'll be for another day. For now, this is the Norse Benchwarmers podcast. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. We're looking to do a giveaway at 50 subscribers. Once we hit 50, we'll give away a $50 Fanatics gift card. So be sure to subscribe to be tuned into that. If you happen to subscribe or happen to see there's 50, that's all right. If you're number 51 and we still haven't done the giveaway yet, you're still entered. So no biggies there. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at NBW Pod. Check us out on Apple and Spotify podcast. Was that Norse Benchwarmers just on there? Yeah, Norse Benchwarmers on both of those. Thank you, co-host, for coming on. Thank you, Garrett, for all your hard work over there in the director's chair and your that looks like Clemson at first glance hat. Thank you, Bill and NK Media Services, for all that you do. Thank you, Mr. Potato Man, for returning to the show. It's been a long time, and he wants to say hi, Gabe. So everyone say hi, Gabe.
Hi, Gabe.
Hi, Gabe.
Hi, Gabe.
I was waiting on you, Garrett. But for now, we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.